going on, guys? The last month has been really good to me as far as the pickups go, and so what we're going to be doing is just talking about some of those fun pickups that I've had over the course of the last month or two at flea markets and game stores and all that fun stuff. You gotta stay tuned for the end here, because I never thought I'd find a couple of these games at a flea market. It's 2015, and the fact that I'm still finding these types of games at flea markets is crazy. It's nuts. So anyway, stay tuned for that. All right, so first game I'm going to talk about here is a modern game. This is Wii Sports Club. It is a very hard game to find now, and it's kind of weird to say that a Wii U game's hard to find, but if you go to any GameStop or any of your local stores, they're not going to have Wii Sports Club. You're going to have to order it online. I was fortunate enough to get a new copy of this for $29.99 at my local game store. They didn't jack up the price, which they probably should have, because this game's getting very hard to find, like I said, and it's out of print, and it's basically Wii Sports, the high definition version of it, with some kind of enhancements and maybe some extra courses here or there, or you can play with the actual gamepad, which is kind of fun. So anyway, it's a great game. It's only going to go up in value. I'd say get it now before it's too late. Okay, so at a flea market, I found this game for $3. It's complete. It has a $5, which pisses me off, but it has a $5 tag on it. But anyway, it was $3, and it's a fantastic game. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, not a bad game. Let's see here. Okay, so at Goodwill, recently I found, so this game isn't like that great of a game, but I'm going for all of the NBA 2K basketball games. I'm trying to collect all of them, so hopefully I eventually will have all of them. I have most of them now. I don't know which ones I'm missing, but I'm only missing a handful of them. All the new ones for sure, like the last 2 to 3 years, but this game is more like the original 2K series, so that's why I wanted to pick this up. That's Iverson on the front. This was a $2 flea market pickup, The Godfather 2. It got mixed reviews, but I'm excited to check it out. I think the people didn't like that, the AI in this game and stuff like that, but that doesn't really bother me if it's easy or if they're clunky, you know, coming like shooting at you and stuff. That doesn't really bother me if it's too easy. So I'm excited to check out this game. Okay, so today I just picked these up. These were 3 for $1, and they're nothing special, but I got 3 complete Genesis games here. They're all baseball games. RBI Baseball, probably that's the pick of the litter there. Triple Play, and then Sports Talk Baseball, so that's kind of cool. Again, flea markets don't have vintage video games, but I found 3 today, so that was kind of cool. Okay, and then, so one of my favorite pickups over the last month was this lady who I go to every time I'm at the flea market. Always has cool VHSs that I actually pick up. I collect those a little bit, and they also have some games here and there. And so randomly, this game was sitting out on top of the VHSs, and I almost crapped my pants. I couldn't believe it. It was just sitting there, and it's not that crazy, but Bonk's Adventure is like maybe a $10 to $20 game on the Game Boy, and I was like, oh my god, do you have any other Game Boy games? And at this point, I never saw any game, you know, this old a game. She had Xbox games and stuff like that, but I never saw games this old. And she's like, well, actually, I don't have any with me, but I have a lot at home in a shoebox. And I said, can you save those for me? Like, I'll come back and I'll buy them like next week. And she said, yeah, I'll be back in 2 weeks. So anyway, I got this for free. She just gave it to me because I was buying some VHSs. So then 2 weeks later, I got back there, and she's like, I said, hey, you know, do you have those games that we're talking about? She's like, oh, I couldn't remember that you were the one that wanted them. I actually just sold the system to somebody for like $5, and this was the Game Boy Advance system. And I'm like, he probably got like all the pick of the litter of all the good games too. And so anyway, she's like, but I still have some games left. You can look through them. So I opened the shoebox, and immediately I saw a couple Pokemon games. So I'm like, okay, he wasn't a gamer. He just wanted the system for his kids, I think. So she's like, they're $1 each, or you can take all of them for $5. And there was at least 20, maybe 25 games in this shoebox. So I'm like, sure, $5, here you go. So here are just I guess maybe the highlights of the 15 games in the box that she got me. Killer Instinct, Tiny Toons, Wave Race, Believe it or Not, Bubble Bobble 2, Chase HQ, Pokemon Sapphire, Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Red, Incredibles, Pac-Man. These are games. I always find these Game Boy Advance games, like they're always the same games. Tony Hawk, Mighty Beans, another Tony Hawk, and then just some other stuff. But anyway, those were the highlights. For $5, that's a steal for Game Boy games. And so I said, well, do you have any other games? And of course she's like, well, maybe next week I'll bring some DS games. So she's gonna get me some DS games, hopefully. If I don't think they didn't sound complete, but you never know. So hopefully she'll find some more games of her kids. She just sells her kids crap, is what it sounds like. So I'm happy to take her kids crap. Okay, so let's keep going here. Alright, so at this same flea market, I always find PS2 games, and they're always dirt cheap, but they're never anything that special. But I'm going to just run through these. They're probably, I'm going to say, anywhere from 50 cents to $1. Crash with the Titans, Tetris Worlds, Madden. These are just these usually come in bundles. I don't buy sports games. They come in bundles. Flat Out, Jak 2, Grand Theft Auto 3, Tekken 5, X-Men. These aren't that bad. Soul Calibur 3. Like I said, I don't spend more than $1 on any of these games. They're usually bundled though. Justice League Heroes and Rygar. Alright. So that's those games. Again, I don't like collecting PS2 games, but when they're 50 cents, I get them. Alright. And then, okay, so these are pretty cool pickups, because these were in the DVD section at, again, the flea market, and I got these for $1 each. And these are new gen. I mean, Resident Evil 5. These are on PS3. It's kind of crazy. Dragon Age 3, and like, who's buying these games and then selling them? Like Battlefield Bad Company 2, the limited edition, and then the limited edition with all the downloadable maps with Battlefield 3. So I got those. I eventually will play them. Okay, and then at a Goodwill, I love GameCube game collecting for the GameCube, so I got Spyro, and then the Tetris Worlds for the GameCube, so that's kind of cool. Alright, so, okay, I'm gonna save kind of the best for last here. Sega Saturn, I got this at my local game store. It was pretty cheap, picked it up for, I think it was $10. And then a game that I've wanted for the Sega Saturn forever. This is an incredible must-have game for the Sega Saturn. It's only going to skyrocket in value over the next couple of years. It is. Sega Saturn games are getting ridiculous. I've slowed down my collecting with everything as far as going to stores or eBay and buying them. I really don't do that anymore. But this game is worth the price tag. Whatever you can get it for right now, I would get it. It's Sega Ages. What a great game this is. It's a compilation of Outrun, Afterburner, and Space Harrier. I'd say it's worth it just for Outrun. But anyway, people love this game for Afterburner because they say it's like the perfect arcade port for it. But just go get this. Go get this compilation. It's incredible. By Working Designs. I wish I could get all the Working Design games for the Sega Saturn, but this is an incredible game. The packaging's awesome. Just get it. Okay, so today was probably my favorite pickup of the last 2 months here. I never see NES games anymore. Never. At flea markets, ever, or Goodwills. It's done. So anyway, I went to the stand where there's these two kids are 7 and 9 years old. And I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? And they're, I'm talking to them and stuff. I always like try to buddy up with the people before I start making deals. And I look down and I'm like, great, they actually have awesome PS2 games. and I'm looking through them. They're really kind of hard to find ones. They're individually priced, which is a no-go, and they're $5 each, which again was probably a good deal for some of the games. I'm not doing $5 for a PS2 game at a flea market. There's no way. So I'm looking around, and then I kind of look up and just shocked. They had 4 NES games, or maybe 5, and I'm like, oh my god, because there were some black cartridges in the lot of these NES games. So I said, how much are the NES games, thinking that, hey, if the PS2 games are $5 each, the NES games are going to be like $10 each. But they said they're going to be $2 each for the NES games. I said, great, here's $8. I'm buying these 4 and walking. And they are Turtles the Arcade game, which, I mean, it's not that hard of a game to find. And these other ones aren't, but it's just, I can't believe I found these at a flea market. Pictionary, the only reason why I got it is because I don't have this game. And the coolest ones here are Dudes with Attitudes. You just don't see these games at flea markets. You don't. This isn't that good of a game. And it's not that rare of a game. I think you can get it for $10. I was just shocked that they had it at this flea market. And then my favorite pickup, again, maybe $10 to $20 game, Crazy Creatures. It's a puzzle game. I've been looking for it forever, and now I have it. I'm so excited. So anyway, Crazy Creatures is one of those games that you're never going to find out in the wild, but you're going to find it online for a pretty reasonable price. So anyway, if you like puzzle games, this is one to pick up. So that concludes my pickups for the last month or two. Thanks so much for watching. I'll